1. Samuel's birth and dedication. The story of Samuel begins with his mother, Hannah, who was barren and deeply distressed by her inability to have children. She prayed earnestly to God at the temple in Shiloh, vowing that if God gave her a son, she would dedicate him to the Lord for all the days of his life. God answered her prayer, and she gave birth to Samuel. True to her vow, Hannah dedicated Samuel to the Lord, leaving him to serve under the priest Eli at a very young age. Lesson: the story of Samuel's birth teaches us the power of fervent prayer and faith. Hannah's unwavering trust in God, even in her distress, is a model for Christians to seek God with a sincere heart. Her dedication of Samuel to God's service shows the importance of fulfilling our promises to God and giving back to Him what He has given us. 2. Samuel's early years in the temple. Samuel grew up in the temple, learning to serve God under the guidance of Eli. One night, God called Samuel while he was lying down, but Samuel did not recognize God's voice at first, thinking it was Eli calling him. After Eli realized it was God, he instructed Samuel to respond, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." From that moment, God began to speak directly to Samuel, revealing his plans and judgments, especially concerning Eli's household due to the sinful behavior of Eli's sons. Lesson: Samuel's early life emphasizes the importance of being open and attentive to God's voice. As Christians, we should cultivate a spirit of humility and readiness to listen to God's guidance. Samuel's willingness to serve and his response to God's call illustrate the importance of being obedient and responsive to God's will, even at a young age. 3. Samuel as a prophet. As Samuel grew, he was recognized as a prophet of the Lord, and his words were trusted by all of Israel because God was with him. He led Israel faithfully, providing spiritual guidance and warning them of the consequences of their actions, particularly the desire for a king to rule over them, which was a rejection of God's direct rule. Lesson: Samuel's role as a prophet teaches Christians the value of integrity, faithfulness, and the responsibility that comes with speaking God's truth. Samuel's life reminds us that being chosen by God comes with the duty to lead others in righteousness, even when it is difficult or unpopular. 4. Anointing of Saul and later David. At the people's insistence, Samuel anointed Saul as the first king of Israel. However, Saul eventually disobeyed God's commands, leading to God's rejection of Saul as king. God then instructed Samuel to anoint David, a young shepherd, as the future king of Israel. This event marked a significant turning point, as it showed God's sovereignty in choosing leaders according to his purposes, not human expectations. Lesson: the anointing of Saul and David highlights the importance of obedience to God's commands. Saul's downfall due to his disobedience teaches us that partial obedience is still disobedience in God's eyes. On the other hand, David's selection, despite being the youngest and least likely in human terms, teaches that God looks at the heart, not outward appearances. Christians are reminded to trust in God's wisdom and timing, even when his plans differ from our expectations. 5. Samuel's legacy and death. Samuel continued to serve as a leader, prophet, and judge over Israel until his death. He played a crucial role in guiding Israel through a turbulent period of its history, including the transition from the rule of judges to the establishment of a monarchy. His legacy was one of unwavering faithfulness to God and dedication to the people of Israel.